It's why he ultimately caved. Positive 40 Years edition September shirt on income limits. We need to pass it fast. But it's a little slower than the last one. On the stimulus. And why he's agreeing to the same amount here but making it sound lower, bypassing this now. So maybe positive 40 Years edition. What did they do instead? They saved money by not winterizing and not doing any kind of disaster prep. Then they went and charged ridiculous prices for positive 40 Years edition September shirt power. Anyway, win-win for the utilities. Lose-lose for society. This is why we regulate markets. To force groups to follow the spirit of the law, whether they positive 40 Years edition September shirt want to or not. Yeah, people seem to forget that capitalism has capitalized right there in the name. Capitalize is synonymous with the exploit. Exploitation is baked into the ideology. I've had libertarians actually argue with me on this point, so here's a link to a thesaurus for any of you positive 40 Years edition September shirt who think otherwise. Anything more is just beyond them. Can't even figure out how to eat crayons, let alone repeal a bill and craft something substantive to overcome it. That would require vastly complex reasoning skills that acknowledge reality. Overall, yes. The GOP Senate was positive 40 Years edition September shirt successful in furthering their agenda over the last few years. But that's because they had a stronger grip on the Senate and could usually pass what they wanted. If they lost a couple of votes. Positive 40 Years edition September shirt. Ladies tee. Long-sleeved. Sweater and hoodie. Long-sleeved. Sweater. Hoodie. Ladies tee. The Democrats hold a one-seat positive 40 Years edition September shirt majority and can't afford that. The Republican defectors in the Senate are always given permission to defect when they have enough votes otherwise, as it helps them maintain the illusion that they are moderate. Positive 40 Years edition September shirt. Notice how Collins, Romney, and Murkowski never seem to defect at the same time? That's by design. They take turns casting no votes so that it never actually affects the Republican agenda. But it can help them in future elections when they claim to be moderates. Because Manchin is the Mitch McConnell of the Democratic Party. He is a centrist. So if they don't have his vote, they don't have the majority. There is absolutely zero reaching positive 40 Years edition September shirt across the aisle anymore, and it's going to be the death of America. We are splitting into literally two factions of people. Half the country is for progressive measures. The other half for authoritarianism, unfettered capitalism. We have a great culture here. But I made it clear the positive 40 Years edition September shirt decision was because I valued my happiness at work more than I valued my bank account. But most people would rather suffer to make more. Thus our team losing people at the 3 to 5 year mark. Any congressperson that believes we don't need a $15 minimum wage needs to 1. Be forced to live on the wage they believe is acceptable, without help from their family or giant bank. Positive 40 Years edition September shirt accounts. Although I'd be nice and give them access to a month's worth of $11 per hour net pay in their checking and savings account to start with. And 2. Needs to be excluded from all call raises that Congress applies to themselves. The minimum wage needs to be tied to positive 40 Years edition September shirt median wage growth. But barring that, Congress should not be allowed to give themselves a call raise without also adjusting the minimum wage. If $174,000 isn't enough for them, then $15,000 definitely is not enough for the rest of us. What he wants is to look like he's hitting back against progressives, the Democrats, while doing minimum damage to the bill. Other products.